In the realm of heroes and villains, one must always be prepared. We've faced formidable foes before, but none quite as complex as Homelander. His facade of strength hides a multitude of vulnerabilities, ones we must exploit to ensure the safety of our world. Homelander's upbringing was far from nurturing. Raised in a sterile environment devoid of love and compassion, he was denied the warmth of a caring family. This deprivation left him emotionally stunted, unable to form genuine bonds with others. Homelander's emotional scars run deep, buried beneath layers of trauma from his tumultuous upbringing. To provoke him, to make him see red, I must tread carefully, subtly planting seeds that stir the echoes of his childhood memories. With the precision of a surgeon's scalpel, I will utilize passive techniques to evoke Homelander's dormant emotions, coaxing forth the ghosts of his past without raising suspicion. Through carefully crafted encounters and orchestrated scenarios, I will create situations that mirror the neglect and isolation he endured as a child, subtly triggering his subconscious to relive those haunting moments. In this heightened state of emotional turmoil, Homelander's ability to see things clearly may be compromised, clouded by the haze of unresolved trauma and pent-up rage. His judgment may become skewed, his actions driven by impulse rather than reason, leading him down a path of chaos and destruction. I must understand his insatiable need for adoration. The public's love is his greatest weakness. By manipulating public opinion, I can turn the tide against him, stripping away the foundation of his power. This craving for public love is not just a desire but a necessity for him, a foundation upon which his power rests. Homelander's entire identity is intertwined with the adulation of the masses. It's not merely about fame or popularity, it's about validation, about being worshipped as a symbol of hope and strength. Without this constant affirmation, he is adrift, lost in a sea of doubt and insecurity. But this need for adoration is also his Achilles heel. While the truth about Homelander's dark deeds could indeed shatter the illusion of his heroism, it also carries the potential for catastrophic consequences. Aware of the immense power he wields and the fragility of his psyche, I must tread carefully, balancing the need for justice with the imperative to prevent further harm. Therefore, I have chosen a path of calculated restraint, refraining from exposing the full extent of Homelander's atrocities to the public eye. Instead, I will employ a subtler approach, utilizing the influence and resources at my disposal to subtly alter public perception. Through strategic media manipulation and carefully orchestrated PR campaigns, I will sow seeds of doubt and suspicion, casting doubt upon Homelander's heroic facade and undermining his confidence from within. By chipping away at his public image and eroding the foundation of trust upon which it rests, I aim to diminish his sense of invincibility and superiority, leaving him vulnerable to the corrosive effects of self-doubt and insecurity. For a man who derives his strength from the adulation of the masses, the loss of public confidence can be a devastating blow, plunging him into a downward spiral of despair and disillusionment. Yet, even as I seek to weaken Homelander's resolve, I do so with a sense of caution, aware of the potential consequences of pushing him too far. But I must tread carefully, for Homelander is not easily swayed. He is a master manipulator himself, adept at spinning lies and half-truths to suit his own agenda. I must be cunning and strategic in my approach, planting seeds of doubt and dissent that will slowly but surely undermine his authority while still maintaining facade of his heroism. But perhaps his most damning flaw is his lack of empathy. He sees us as mere pawns in his game, disposable and insignificant. We must show him the consequences of his actions, make him feel the pain he so callously inflicts upon others. One way Homelander displays this lack of empathy is by purging his own allies. This could involve getting rid of teammates or followers who have outlived their usefulness or who pose a threat to his power. He might do this ruthlessly, without any regard for their loyalty or past contributions. To elaborate on this, I can imagine scenarios where Homelander betrays or eliminates those who once served him faithfully. For example, he might manipulate situations to frame his allies for crimes they didn't commit, using this as an excuse to eliminate them and solidify his control. Alternatively, he might simply discard allies once they no longer serve his immediate interests, leaving them to fend for themselves against their enemies. I see this behavior as not only a sign of Homelander's cruelty but also as a strategic weakness. By showing Homelander's allies the consequences of their loyalty, I believe they might turn against him or at least hesitate to follow his orders blindly. This could weaken Homelander's power base and make him more vulnerable to defeat. Paranoia gnaws at his sanity. I'll exploit his mistrust, turning his allies like deep and a train against him until he stands alone. Compound V stands as both a blessing and a curse. This mysterious substance, the very essence of which grants soups their extraordinary abilities, also serves as a potent drug, tempting them with the promise of euphoria and invincibility. Yet, beneath its seductive allure lies a dark truth, for Compound V is not merely a means to an end but a catalyst for chaos and destruction. As I analyze the effects of Compound V on soups taken from Vought Pharmaceuticals, I am struck by the profound implications of its dual nature. On one hand, it bestows upon its users unparalleled strength, speed, and resilience, elevating them to the status of demigods among mortals. But on the other hand, it fosters a dangerous dependency, trapping its victims in a cycle of addiction and self-destruction. It is this very duality that forms the crux of my plan to confront Homelander and strip him of his godlike powers. For if Compound V is the source of his strength, then it must also hold the key to his vulnerability. Through careful analysis and experimentation, I developed an antidote capable of neutralizing the effects of Compound V, retarding abilities and powers of soups. This soup cure is designed for inhalation to bypass his impenetrable skin. To grab his attention, I create loud noises that he can hear from miles away due to his super hearing. The antidote is a mist laced with zinc vapors, a substance that blocks his ability to see through objects. When Homelander arrives, drawn by the noise, I'll release the mist, and as he breathes it in, the antidote will work to neutralize the effects of Compound V within him. Once Homelander's super abilities have been neutralized by the antidote, I will remotely activate traps strategically placed throughout the area. These traps, meticulously designed and calibrated for humans, will serve as a test of his newfound vulnerability and a means to ensure that he can no longer pose a threat to innocent lives. As he navigates the treacherous terrain, ensnared by my carefully laid traps, Homelander will be forced to confront the consequences of his actions and reckon with the truth of his own fallibility. Each obstacle he faces will serve as a reminder of the havoc he has brought and the lives he has endangered, compelling him to acknowledge the gravity of his sins. And when the dust finally settles and Homelander stands before me, defeated, I will ensure that he is brought to justice for his crimes. I will not rest until he has answered for the harm he has caused. Because I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.